I'm just going to go ahead and say I don't think that the Yankees are World Series favorites going into 2023, but they are giving off major 2009 vibes. Back in 2009, they brought in Mark Teixeira, AJ Burnett, and CC Sabathia all in one offseason, and the Yankees, they're going for it this year. And as a Red Sox fan, you probably feel like that Squidward meme where you see Patrick and SpongeBob outside having fun. Like Patrick is the Mets and SpongeBob, the Yankees, they're just outspending everyone, while the Red Sox, they're losing everyone. Now, later on in the video, we do have a few things to talk about, including the Red Sox hopefully crossing their fingers and extending someone for once. And then also Manny Machado, he is expected to opt out after the 2023 season. So a lot of juicy things to talk about towards the end of today's video. But the biggest fish of today's video, Carlos Rodon, perhaps the best lefty in baseball. I don't know if you still give that to Clayton Kershaw, but Rodon has been a monster over the last 2 seasons. Now, before we talk about his stats and his skill set, what he brings to the table, I just want to say $162 million, 6 years. That is a lot of money for a guy that is going to be in the thick of things for the Yankees moving forward. And Carlos Rodon, he doesn't like 2 things: Robert Manfred and the Houston Astros.
So the way I look at it is, it's hard to see this when you're giving out 10-game suspensions for cheating, but you give the Astros no suspensions at all. If Rob Manfred can look himself in the mirror and say, hey, I'm doing the right thing, that's fine. You can't suspend the team that you actually knew was cheating during a playoff game. That's on you.
I don't know about you guys, but he seems like a perfect Yankee to me. Now, also, one more thing I do want to mention between Rodon and Aaron Judge. This offseason alone, the Yankees have guaranteed almost $600 million. I'm rounding up a lot, okay? This is not proper math, but close to $600 million in one offseason. I mean, if you're a Pirates fan or an A's fan or a Guardians fan like me, how do you get excited about competing with teams like this? Like, at some point, it does become a little bit sad, but that's just the name of the game. If you're an owner, please spend more money. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Carlos Rodon, who almost had a 6 WAR in the year 2022. So a season ago, he had a 2.88 ERA in 31 games started. He had 180 innings pitched and a 12 strikeouts per 9, which led the National League. Now, if we take a look at the last 2 years combined, 2021 and 2022, he has a sick 2.67 ERA, 422 strikeouts in 310 innings. He has a 12.2 strikeouts per 9. Those are absolutely otherworldly numbers. Carlos Rodon is a savage. From the beginning of 2021 up until now, here are all of the top strikeout pitchers in baseball. We can see that Carlos Rodon is 7th in baseball since the beginning of 2021 if we're talking about strikeouts, but he has a 2.67 ERA. All of these guys, they're hovering around 3 other than Corbin Burns. But the thing I want to point out, he has 422 strikeouts in 310 innings. So all of the strikeouts per 9 favors Carlos Rodon, as he could be the nastiest starting pitcher outside of Jacob deGrom in baseball. If we're just talking about pure strikeout stuff, I know Ohtani's in that conversation as well, but Carlos Rodon, he is so good. And it's not like Carlos Rodon is going to the Rockies or the A's, teams that have terrible pitching staffs coming into 2023. He is joining a rotation of Garrett Cole, Nestor Cortez. You could have Frankie Montas as your 5 and Luis Severino as your 4. Yes, in my opinion, I think that it's going to go Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, Nestor Cortez, Severino, and Montas. If Montas actually is not a garbage can in 2023, that could be the best rotation in baseball. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, if Nestor is Nasty Nate, that's the best rotation by far. Now, do I think that Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon is a better 1-2 punch than Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander? I don't, but still, I mean, when you factor in Justin Verlander's age and you take that into account, maybe Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon is better when you're talking about 2023, considering the age of Scherzer and Justin Verlander. So if you're a New York fan, whether you're a Yankees fan or a Mets fan, who would you rather have? Garrett Cole and Rodon or Verlander and Scherzer? Again, one more time, the Yankees pitching staff were top 5 in ERA last year. They were just behind the Dodgers and the Astros. I can't believe the Dodgers and the Astros had sub 3 ERAs as a pitching staff. But again, Rodon, he is going to be a monster in the Bronx. I do hate the fact that he's going to have to shave. I don't know how he's going to look. Like, we all know Joey Gallo didn't really look himself without the beard. But Rodon, with that 2.67 ERA over his last 310 innings, he is top 10 in strikeouts over the last 2 years, and he has the highest strikeout per 9 of anyone in the top 10. Carlos Rodon, again, one of my favorite pitchers in baseball, and he hates the Astros, so it's a match made in heaven. We've talked a lot about the Yankees this offseason, and most of it has been positive news because they brought back Rizzo and Judge. They got Carlos Rodon. They have had an A offseason so far, where the Red Sox, I'm going to give them a C-, which is crazy to say because they lost Xander Bogaerts, but here's how they can go from a C- to a B even if they lose Bogaerts. They have to give an extension today, or at least in the next few days, to Rafael Devers, because you cannot lose Xander Bogaerts and DFA or release Jeter Downs, one of the biggest pieces in the Mookie Betts trade. You can't have that happen in the span of 2 weeks without some good news happening. I guess Masataka Yoshida, he is projected to be a solid hitter, but defensively and on the bases, he's not going to bring any value. So yeah, Xander Bogaerts leaving, Jeter Downs being DFA'd. You have to go get Rafael Devers, and you got to keep him in Boston for at least the next 8-9 years. That's my opinion, though. From one top 5 third baseman to another, Manny Machado, the reports are surfacing that he will be opting out, not saying that he's going to be leaving the Padres, but he should be opting out of his contract in 2023, and I don't blame him because, yes, he's getting paid $30 million. That is the AAV, the average annual value for Manny Machado, $30 million a year up until 2028, but because he's 30 years old and he's seeing all of these mega contracts, I fully expect Manny Machado to opt out at 31 years old. He's probably going to get $32 to $35 million, so yes, a pay increase, but he's probably going to want a contract up until 2032 or 2033 when he's 41 years old, because if the Padres are going to make Xander Bogaerts a millionaire until he's 41, Trey Turner has a contract till he's 41, Manny Machado, he's going to want the same thing, whereas this contract ends in about 5 years, so yeah, he's probably going to be looking for a 9 or 10-year deal. This guy's going to be so rich. And honestly, Manny Machado deserves it as well. I don't know why Nolan Arenado did not opt out, because the same thing could have happened to Arenado where he says, I just had an MVP type season. There was an opt out in his contract after 2022. He could have gotten anywhere from $35 to $38 million easy. That's how good Nolan has been. Manny Machado, he's 5th in WAR since the beginning of 2020. So the last 3 seasons combined, he's just behind guys like Juan Soto, J-Ram, Goldie, and Judge. And I just want to clarify, the number 1 spot is Aaron Judge, not Arson. I know they get confused every so often, but Manny Machado, yes, I fully expect him to opt out. The Padres, they have so much money, they can re-sign him and they still have a ton of money left. Like the owner of the Padres, along with the combination of AJ Preller, who is a madman of a GM, I could see this coming to fruition. Manny Machado opting out and going back, and then they give a bunch of money to Juan Soto. It could happen. I don't know. The Padres just have unlimited money. It's like a cheat code. And to end today's video, Omar Narvaez, one of the best framers from last year if we're talking about catchers. He is going to the Mets. He is a lefty that could be a nice platoon with Francisco Alvarez, give him a little break, or James McCann. I don't know what's happening with James McCann. I have no idea.
The 0-2 pitch. Hey, struck him out, and the Giants win it. And going the distance is Rodon. He goes all the way on 112 pitches.